weightlifting belt. When to use it? Should I use it? Should I not use it? What is the proper way to use it if I do use it? These are the things we're going to be talking about in today's video. So weightlifting puts pressure on your body, right? A lot of times people think that this is meant to just keep your midsection stiff and supports it in a way so that it doesn't fold or break in the middle. That is not the intention of this device. Did you know that you have a natural weight belt? It's your abs, it's your obliques, it's your lower back muscles. All this around here is your weight belt. And in order for us to get stronger and better, we want to get this stronger. Now, how do we do that? Ab exercise, lifting, putting resistance on our bodies, making sure these muscles are strong. Secondary to that is something called intra-abdominal pressure. Now, I've used the analogy of the empty can and full can. If you step on one versus stepping on the other, what is the difference? Okay, now check it. So we got an empty can and we got a full can. Now, the analogy of the cans is when we talk about the intra-abdominal pressure and breathing and bracing. Now, when we're breathing, when we're lifting, taking a big breath in, and then bracing and bearing down, this is what we want to create. We want to create nice, strong internal pressure inside our trunk to make it look and act like this. If I was to stand on an empty can, this is where we do not breathe. This is where we do not care, okay? This is what happens. Your trunk collapses. Now what happens if I stand on a full can? It's never broke. It didn't break. Now, how do we create that intra-abdominal pressure? If you think internally to your body, you got your lungs, that's the breath work, and you got the diaphragm, which is just underneath your lungs. And it's shaped like a little, like mushroom cap, a little curved mushroom cap. As we take a breath in, our lungs expand, pushing down, making our diaphragm flat. All right. As we breathe in, the diaphragm in here flattens out and it pushes out in all 360 degrees around us, okay? Now, in order to see what that feels like, take your fingers and stick them right under your rib cage and push inside, like this, okay? Inside, like this. Now you take a breath. Then you push your fingers out. Okay, so it's pushing out against pushing down on the diaphragm, pushing out against the wall of your abdominal wall, your abs, your obliques, your lower back muscles. Okay? Now, we're going to eventually talk about the belt. Now, what the point of the belt is to provide feedback for this intra-abdominal pressure. What are we pushing into? Okay? So the belt is there to, number one, provide feedback, okay, so that you're doing it right, okay? As you put the belt on, it's on there snugly, but not too tight. You take your breath in and you push against the belt. Okay, so the point of the belt is for you to push against the belt. Okay, it's not in there sucking you in super tight in order to keep you just not being able to fold forward. Okay, it is there to provide stimulus for you to push against. Okay, that is the point. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of using it over and over for just regular training. I've said this for years. We want to develop our own personal weight belt. Okay, so the stronger we are internally, the more we can kind of figure out how to take in that nice big breath of air, expand our lungs, brace down, create a nice full pop can. The better, the stronger we're going to be, the longer we're going to live, the less hurt we're going to be. Things are going to get better with that. Now, if we are overusing the belt, then you're relying on that thing. We want to be able to live our life without a belt on us. Right? So that occasional time we do a 1 rep max, or you're in the 95+% range, okay, you know what? It might be a good time to use it. But do you just use it that 1 or 5 times a year, without training with it on? That's the ultimate question I think us as coaches are going to kind of figure out. But the number one thing is, let's figure out how to use it properly. The position of the belt on your body is also another thing to think about. Now, you want to position the belt right under your ribs. Okay, that is exactly where the diaphragm is going to be kind of flattening and squishing out of your midsection. Okay, so we don't want it low on our hips, because that's belts used to hold your pants up. That's where that goes. You don't want to position it on your ribs, right? You want to position it just underneath your ribs. Okay. Tightness factor is also important. You want to have it tight, but you don't want to have it too tight. Okay? If you can squeeze, if you can fit your fingers underneath like this, feel what it's like to take a breath in and then brace against it. All right? That's the point. We want to brace against it. And it's not just pushing forward this way. It's pushing out. It's pushing out the back. All 360 degrees around this loop of the belt. Okay, that is the point of this guy. You have it on. You stand your weight up. You set your feet. You set your hands. You're looking. You're focused. Breath in. Brace. And you want to push against the belt as you do your lift. Now, oftentimes, sometimes the things we see is you take a breath in, but you're not really braced. Your breath is in. It's in the top part of your lungs, okay? Or sometimes you see this. It sucks so tight, you can't even breathe normally. Okay, so this is not what we want. You want to get to a point where it's there to provide something to force against as you go through this, and it does take some practice to lift with. During some workouts, you're going to see this belt maybe you like using. Okay, it's a Velcro, quick kind of release type belt. To be placed in the same spot. It's soft, maybe a little bit more comfortable. It still provides the feedback as you're taking in a breath, so you don't really necessarily need a big, thick leather one. you do your lifts, you relax it a little bit, and you do burpees or whatever. So these are meant to be done during workouts. Should you use one, then tighten it back up to do the lift, the deadlift, whatever you think. Relax it a bit to kind of get a little more kind of room while you breathe and your diaphragm works, and you tighten it back up. So that's an option as well. My advice is don't use a weight belt when you're doing workouts. Why? Like in a workout, there's not going to be a lift that's 95+% of your max. Lastly, probably one of the most important things we've heard is I need my belt. Okay, so there's part A, I need my belt. Okay, no. Number two, my back hurts, so I need my belt to help support me. Well, we could dive deeper into that. Why does it hurt? What are you doing that causes it to be hurt? And why are you pushing yourself so hard during a workout, during a lift, that it hurts? How about we strengthen the area? We get some therapy on it and get to the point where it doesn't hurt. That's all I'm asking. All right, so during classes, me and my coaches see you bring out your belt, you're automatically thinking you're going to be getting to some weight that this is we're relying on it. We need it because we're hurt. All this shit, okay? So if this is something that is important to you and you want to train to use the belt, okay, we can talk about it. If you're going for a 1-rep max at some point in the future, okay, as we lead up to that test day, let's do a little bit of training on it. Put it on and see what it feels like. Have your body give it the feedback of the belt on there and see what the proper use of this bracing function is in your body, right? So you got your personal weight belt, you got the external weight belt, and maybe we'll go for that max. If you have questions on the use of these, why they're used, why I don't allow you to use them, talk to me or one of the coaches, and we'll answer your questions for you. Talk to you soon.